When did you first notice signs in your son? About like what age and like what were the signs that you noticed?
So other people noticed signs in him before I did. And I think every parent who has a child with autism goes through a denial phase, which is completely normal. I think that mothers go through it quicker than dads. Um, but he was, when I started to realize that something was going on, he was about a year old. And I don't know if it was the shot, the MMR vaccination or not. I've heard things, but then I've also heard that it's been discredited, that the doctor who said it was, stripped of his license and whatnot. So I don't know really what it was, but I do know that when he was about 1 year old, he had started to talk, his mama, dada, milk, and requests for things and stuff, and then had this vaccination done. And about 2 weeks later, it was completely silent. Never.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to go there, and that's totally fine that you do. Because I find that interesting.
Like I said, I don't know if it actually has anything to do with the shot, and that part should definitely be included in what I say, because I don't know for sure. I have heard that the doctor was discredited, but I do know what I witnessed, and whether it was actually from it or not, I can't say specifically. But what I can
Sure.
say, what I witnessed was within about 2 weeks of having his, year doctor's appointment and him giving us words and the start of stuff, uh, his eye contact changed. His verbal expressions of anything were gone. So I've heard that a lot of vaccinations have high quantities of aluminum in them, and then I've read studies about cadavers being experimented on that were autistic, and they looked into their brains and they realized that there was a much higher concentration of aluminum in an autistic person's brain than there was in a
Hmm.
normal person's brain. So whether it was the vaccine itself, or maybe just a substance in it, or even a substance, like, you think about it, aluminum is in deodorant. Is this something that their bodies are absorbing and unable to process, which is creating a blockage? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist, but I feel like there's something there that needs more research. Maybe some kind of like a herbal detox thing, like you were saying, is like maybe there's some kind of herbal thing or something that could be like a cure. Maybe there's something that can just clear that fog. But I've also heard that um, if it was the shot, then it would be because he already has something neurologically going on. So that's why some kids can get the shot and be completely fine and the same as they always were, where other ones, they seem different. They seem like there was a change, but maybe because there was something already neurologically different about them to start, and it just exasperated it. And I feel like
Sure.
that's a high possibility.
My wife and I are very vaccine hesitant, and not just from like the MMR thing, but just all of them in general. When my wife was pregnant, our doctors, like personal doctors, were like, you should really get the DTaP or TDAP. I don't even remember which one it is. And the flu shot, you'd hate to give it to them and this and that. And I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'm not a flu shot guy, but whatever. I only got those two shots, and for the next 2 days, I felt like trash. So, how is it that a healthy adult can um, only get two shots, but it's okay to give like a newborn five at a time or whatever? And people like Paul Offit or whatever will say things like, "Oh, you could give an infant 10,000 shots; their body can handle it." He actually will throw out a number like that. I'm like, this makes no sense.
No.
And so it's just with the sorry, I can't remember where I was going with that. But so I was talking to a cousin of mine. She recommended this book, The Vaccine Friendly Plan, by this doctor in Oregon. And he's like, if you are going to give vaccines, here's the ones I would give at this timeline. So, like, there's the CDC recommended schedule, and then there's mine. But also, if you want to go no vaccine, here's what that looks like. You know, if they were to get mumps, how would you treat for that? If they were to get, let's say, smallpox, how would you treat for that? So, like, that type of thing. And you say, like, you don't know if it was or wasn't the vaccine. I listen to like a lot of like podcasts, and all these moms are coming out like, you know, the vaccine injured my son, the vaccine injured my daughter, and the establishment's like, no it didn't, no it didn't, no it didn't. And they're I can't how can they say that it didn't hurt their child when you have like a mother's intuition? You know what I mean? Like, they you're trying to just like, they know their kid better than anybody, and you're trying to just say no, like that's not possible, or
But
it's
a mother's intuition
highly
isn't
improbable.
gonna hold up in court.
No,
She's not a doctor, so she doesn't know all the fine-tuned details to prove it.
right. It's just they're just so out of touch with like the I don't know how to explain it other than just like, you
It's all
can't just
about money.
discredit them.
The easiest way to describe it is all about money. I mean, the fight that I have to go through with this school for him constantly, it's because this one wants the money or that one wants the money. Putting him in a really good school, the mainstream school is going to miss on that check because now the school that really could do him good is going to get that check, and then now they don't want to send him there, and because this is his district, that it's constantly a fight.